My lords, today I'm going to tell you about Project Blue Lotus and the story of how the Commonwealth of Man began turning solar energy into military-grade alloy, suitable to construct starships and star fortresses. Many decades ago, our first stumbling steps into the void beyond unity were not motivated solely by curiosity, or a desire to conquer the unknown, or even a need to leave our mark on the galaxy. We were well aware of humanity's history. Back on Earth, and our own biosphere of unity had undergone rapid changes in the past few centuries. And prominent scientists were warning that we may be faced with the beginnings of a mass extinction event, i.e., the cyclical purging of life that is inseparable from planetary existence in the greater cosmos. It had always been known that in order to survive, humanity must venture forth into the stars and begin to inhabit other worlds. How viable this would be would soon become apparent. All those years ago, a research plan was put together to study a number of planets rendered uninhabitable by major astronomical incidents or planet-bound catastrophes. We hoped that by reconstructing these events, a similar fate may be avoided for Unity and the human race. We surveyed many planets, desolate, barren, toxic and frozen, and we discovered a barren planet that was sadly doomed from the start. As if by some cruel stellar conspiracy, the dominant species on the planet barely had time to awaken to sapience and invent agriculture before, through an unfortunate geological mechanism, the Earth turned sour. Samples from the lower soil strata and the fossilized remains of the creatures that once roamed the planet showed that several vital minerals needed to rejuvenate the soil ended up, through their largely agricultural diets, in the endoskeletons of the native beings. Their bones were prone to fossilize rather than decay, and their very existence exhausted the fragile ecosystem that they inhabited, leaving it permanently transformed in the wake of their passing. The toxic world that we discovered had a similar story. This time we discovered cracks in the planet's crust. We first presumed that these were the result of significant tectonic activity, but they were actually the lasting marks of impossibly large roots burrowing through the Earth. At some point in the distant past, a freak mutation, possibly deliberately induced by a sapient being, though it is unlikely they could have predicted the result, caused the native plant life to grow out of control. Many of these plants reproduce through pollination, with countless gametes carried by the currents through the lower atmosphere. While the process was originally only cause for mild irritation, the exponential increase in atmospheric-borne particles effectively choked the life of all animals on the planet in a matter of months. While both these discoveries were interesting for the general scientific community, it was on the frozen world that we discovered something far more interesting. The frozen planet that we had studied had died. We thought at first this was due to an unnatural shift in the atmosphere's chemical makeup, resulting in the slow but irreversible onset of an ice age, one that began before the humble beings of humanity and was likely to persist long after our passing. The exact cause remain unknown, but probable explanations include a failed terraforming event or even some sort of interplanetary terrorism. Some of the more radical elements within our scientific community suggested that the dramatic climate shift may have been brought on by the unchecked emission of gaseous, industrial byproducts into the atmosphere. This view, however, was confined to the scientific fringe, as it is unlikely that any race intelligent enough to achieve full industrialization would be stupid enough to kill their own planet and accidentally wipe themselves out. Despite this, the real value of the planet was identified when surface scans pinged a geological anomaly. A bowl-shaped depression suddenly appeared alongside an abandoned mining facility. Features like this are almost never found in nature, but stranger still, the walls of this cirque scatter visible light in a flower petal pattern, and have been found to resonate when exposed to a certain electromagnetic energy band. We sent a science team down planetside to investigate further. Several weeks passed, and the science team reported that the mine, although abandoned, wasn't a coal or iron mine as we expected. It was in fact something quite different. In the mine and the surrounding area, we discovered crystalline deposits, glowing a dull light blue in colour. They appeared to be a natural formation, but they have remarkable properties. The crystals respond dramatically to delayed erasure photon energy, and they appear to filter light wavelengths and reflect a beam which is capable of transforming ordinary silicates into a new superconductive alloy, though this is only possible during daylight. Given that the process essentially involves bouncing high levels of radiation around an enclosed space, some of the scientists have already come out in protest. However, a different group of excited researchers offered a counter-argument, stressing that this phenomenon could revolutionize the way we refine precious metals. Either way, developing the technique further will of course be costly. The scientists' protests were ultimately pointless. We had the ability here to essentially create an alloy from starlight, and not just any alloy of a specific grade that makes it suitable for starship construction and battleship armor. It was, to borrow an old Earth phrase, a no-brainer. We ordered that the science experiments continue, and the capacity for the production of alloy be expanded. This was of course met with some pushback, and there were regrettable scenes as a group of obsessive scientists sought to intervene in the project's closure. They were dazzled by their own research and attempted to wrest control of the transmutation experiments for the benefit of new science. Whatever this new science is, the resulting scuffle caused the equipment to be damaged, but not permanently. This project had been delayed, but not stopped. The scientists behind the attempted theft of the research were promptly executed. Many months have now passed since the discovery on planet BX-712. We have codenamed the project Blue Lotus, and the planet-side laboratory is yielding verifiable results. Although the process is only producing small amounts of alloy, researchers have high hopes for a larger scale operation. They've requested access to further resources, and we have of course provided them. Although this is an outer system, we are terraforming the fourth planet in system, with the hope to colonize and fortify what could be in several decades one of the Commonwealth's key industrial systems. Soon the next phase of our experimental production facility will come online. The Blue Lotus transmutation facility, we hope, will soon provide the materials for at least half of our galactic fleet. This is indeed the full spectrum alchemy our ancestors once dreamt of. All in all, a marvellous find. The significance of Project Blue Lotus will extend beyond mere scientific curiosity. It represents a major advancement in material science and has the potential to revolutionize spacefaring technology and military capabilities for the Commonwealth. It will be a prime example of humanity's relentless pursuit of progress and power, even in the far reaches of our galaxy. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to hear more Stellaris lore, please click the video on screen now.